Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is SewRena. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a behind the scenes of this dress, and I have a couple clips of me making this pillbox hat. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as follow me on Instagram at SewRena_, and let's get into the video. These are the three main pieces of the pattern: the center front, which is cut on the fold, the back, and the side front piece. I'm going to start with sewing up the center back seam, as well as putting the darts in the shoulder on the back pattern pieces. So like I said, I am transferring the darts on the back pieces, and I really like this dress for a couple reasons. Even though I'm not a 60s girl or a 70s girl, I'm really glad that I tried this out, so that way I could tell you guys that if you're looking to wear vintage maternity and you want a quick sew, this A-line dress or one similar is a really good dress to work with for two reasons. One, it comes together very quickly, and two, it took me about 1.5 yards of fabric, and that's the 60-inch wide fabric. So it doesn't require as much as like the 50s and the 40s style maternity patterns do. So now I'm joining the back seams, and I do this before I do the darts, just in case I have to stop what I'm doing. At least the back is in one piece, and then I just have to keep up with the front pieces, because like I said, when I have a stopping point, I like for it to be as little pieces as possible, so it's less to have to keep up with. So that's what I'm doing, just putting on doing the back seams first, and then I move on to the darts. And doing it this way just keeps everything more organized, especially since I don't have a sewing room or a designated sewing space to kind of keep my things out of the reach of my toddler. So like the back, I am going to transfer the markings to the front, the center front of the dress. And this is the part where I have to ease. So I'll put a stitching line where those two dots are, so that way the princess seam can come together. And I use a Dritz invisible marker. It goes away with time, or you could wash it away. I used to use a pencil. I know, bad habits. For the longest, I've had this marker for less than a year, and I really like it. So that's what I'm doing now. So now I'm just adding the ease, the thread, so that way I can ease the princess side seam to the center front of the dress. So now I am creating the belt pieces, and it's called a belt, but as you see on the front of the pattern, it's a bow. Same thing. It kind of helps cinch in the stomach area a little, so it pulls in the waist a little, and this is how you can make it adjustable. The tighter you pull it, the more fitted it is. The more loose you leave it tied, the more room you have in the dress. And so that's what I do there. And then we stay stitch the neckline, and then you also want to stay stitch the armholes, and you definitely don't want to skip that part, especially if you're going to do a lot of try-ons before you add the sleeves and the neck facing to the garment. So this is the end of the first day. All of this work from cutting to getting to this point took me about 1.5 hours of time. So that's just to give you an idea of how quick working with this pattern truly is. And all I need to do now is add the side fronts to the dress. And so here I am working on the first side front, and I sew this all the way up, and then I slowly ease where the princess seam is. And once I sew this up, then I do have a clip in here that shows you exactly what it is that I was doing, because I kind of was like trying to work a little fast, because if I'm not mistaken, this was during my daughter's nap. So, you know, you gotta try and make do with the time that you have. So here I am pinning the second side front to the dress. And this is just to give you an idea of what it is that I was talking about in the last clip. And so it's pretty simple. You just go ahead and put the pins in. I stop right above the where you ease it at the bust because I feel like the pins don't really do it justice. I mean, it doesn't make it any easier with the pins being in. And if anything, my tip to you would be to hand baste it in first before you put it on the machine. So now I am sewing on that piece that I pinned in the last clip. And I was kind of thinking that these behind the scene videos don't get as many views. So I don't know if you guys are as interested. I did want to do this one because I didn't do a more full length sewing video for a maternity outfit. So I wanted to go with something that would have been quicker to make. So it would end up being a shorter video. But like, let me know in the comments if you guys like this. I know the last behind the scenes video I had less followers. I had less than 1,000 subscribers. So now that I have more, you guys let me know if you like this long video. So here I am putting the zipper on, and I do a lapped zipper. That's my favorite type of zipper. It's the most authentic and it's the easiest to put in. So just make sure that you baste everything and press everything, and it goes in pretty quickly. I've already started planning my next project. It's actually going to be a really special one. It's going to be a special occasion dress, maternity dress. It's going to be another A-line dress, and it's going to be in white taffeta because I'll be celebrating my 5th year wedding anniversary. And I started planning a special dress because this is a milestone anniversary back in December before I knew I was going to be pregnant this year. And it was supposed to be a 1940s gown, one that I wish I could have made if I knew how to sew, or one that I wish I could have bought if I could afford to. So that's what I had planned. And then, of course, I'm pregnant now. So I thought it'd be pretty cool to still go with a special occasion dress, one that looks very wedding-like, and will have really nice photos. Family photos, and also if there's another mom out there who wants to find vintage maternity but bridal, I thought it'd be a cute video or cute pictures or reference to have in general, although it would not have been very authentic for the time because of course you'd get married first and then be pregnant. But I thought it'd be cute, so let me know if you guys want a video on that, and I'll do a video for that one. Okay guys, so I hope this isn't too messy for you to be able to tell, but I wanted to show you really quickly how I set my sleeves. And basically I like to do it while the garment is still open on the side seams. It helps me get a more smooth finish. So as you can see, there's no rippling or buckling. It goes in a lot better this way, in my opinion, than when you close up the side seams first. So basically I just sew the sleeve on right here, and then I put everything right sides together and sew down the side seam. So I just wanted to give you that tip if you do struggle with easing a sleeve in. Doing it this way is a whole lot easier and comes out almost flawless every single time. Okay, so now I'm closing up the side seams. It was kind of funny to listen to that other clip, like listening back to that other clip, because I was so out of breath. But that's my reality these days, you guys. Like, I am out of breath doing like the easiest and most simple of things these days. I'm also really tired randomly. I never know when the tiredness or the fatigue is going to kick in. So the end of the pregnancy is definitely near. I have just a couple more months to go, and it's totally showing. So if you hear me huffing and puffing in this video or videos in the future, that is why. I'm definitely short of breath. And then it doesn't help that I also have asthma too. So this is where we've left off so far. It still has lots of like loose threads and basting stitches that need to come out. I need to press the side seams, hem the bottom of this dress, hem the sleeves, and put the facing around the neck on, and then it will be complete. So I decided to add in a couple short clips of me making a hat because I had enough fabric left over to do so after making my daughter a dress with the scrap. So here I am just adding on some grosgrain ribbon. It's a very thin ribbon. I think it's 3/8 of an inch. And so I did previously mark the placement of this ribbon, so I'm sewing that on now. I would recommend, however, that you hand baste this if you're a beginner at working with like hats and sewing on a curve. Here I am adding the second piece. I'm kind of just like designing and sewing at the same time, so I sew these pieces as close together without them touching, so that way you can tell they're two pieces. Now I am sewing the crown portion of this hat on. I did hand baste it first, and that's a quick tip to baste everything on when you're sewing a hat always, especially by hand first and then go in with the machine later. It's a lot more accurate that way. This hat is stiffened with interfacing as well as one layer of crinoline. I think I was just using what I had on hand, so this is all pretty much a scrap hat. Now I'm adding the lining in. I used cotton since this won't be laying flush against my head as a pillbox hat. I used some scrap cotton that I had in my scrap bin. Usually I use satin, but I decided to save satin for another project. When I do use satin, I use interfacing to make it a little bit more manageable and stable for me to sew. It also helps with putting runs in the fabric. And so since that wasn't necessary, I went ahead and saved my scrap satin for something else. So you can barely see it right now, but I am basically basing the lining to the hat. And I know it's a weird angle, but my phone started to die and I needed it to be closer to a charging port. So sorry for the angles, but this is usually why I don't sew hats, because most of it's done by hand and it's really hard to film my sewing process for hats because it's really hard to get good angles on camera while also sewing without making mistakes. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I inserted a couple clips of me wearing the dress and a photo of the pillbox hat. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.